judicial officers. I don't want you to drive me to racism. I'm sorry, please.
No, but you are trained by apartheid mechanism, trained institutions.
You know what? Let me just tell you a little story.
And then who trained you? Because you've got this pride, 15 years of being a magistrate. Who trained you?
There's an advocate now. There was an attorney who was a black attorney who was being, there was an application because he has not complied with the legal profession. I had to represent him. The papers were already drawn. The papers were saying this court is an apartheid regime court. The judges are apartheid, are racist. I'm not supposed to be subjected to them. The first thing that the judge asked me, I said to him, how do you draft papers like this? And then he said, no, Togota, I want you to represent me. Then it's the first thing that the judge asked me, Mrs. Togota, these papers, do you agree with them? I said, no, I don't. I don't agree with that. Apartheid and no apartheid. The law is law. If it was apartheid law, it was law at that stage. And everybody had to go along that law. Not that you liked it. You didn't have, even now, I cannot guarantee that everybody likes the law. You only like the law when it is in your favor. When it's not in your favor, say, ooh, this government. That's what happens in life.
But you're an apartheid magistrate.
Well, call me what you like. I was working at that stage, but I can tell you one thing, I gained the experience.
And you were trained by apartheid government to be a magistrate.
Call it what you like.
And you didn't see anything wrong with that apartheid training?
Let's assume I see something wrong. What should I have done? Should I have said, I'm not going to be a magistrate in this era because you're apartheid? Should I have done that?
I'm asking, you were trained by apartheid regime to be a magistrate. Was there something wrong with that apartheid system?
The law is the law. So it's not for me. I don't make laws. Parliament makes laws. The court, even though those apartheid laws, they were not rigidly enforced by some judges, for example. Some judges didn't agree. That's why you have an opportunity as a judge to develop the law. These days it's even better because there's constitution. Anything which is inconsistent with the constitution, then it's bad law. You don't apply it. So it's no use taking us back to the apartheid. Even the customary law, as long as it is consistent with the Bill of Rights, then you can apply it. It's permissible in law, it's permissible in terms of the Constitution, but if you want to change it, you change it only in accordance with the Bill of Rights.
As you round up, Commissioner Malema.
Was there something wrong with apartheid?
Yes.
What have you done?
What do you expect me to do as a magistrate? To strike and say there's something wrong here?
Thank you, CJ.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You know what? I'm really saddened by an African abusing a fellow African. I'm really saddened by a certain lawyer in South Africa. This lawyer was supporting apartheid. Apartheid was a very, very bad thing that happened in South Africa. Racial segregation based on skin color, and I even don't know how to call this apartheid. Let me check on the internet. What's apartheid? Apartheid. Apartheid meaning, yes. The term apartheid is an African word derived from the French term métier apart, literally translated to separating apart. Apartheid is a policy that is founded on the idea of separating people based on their racial or ethnic criteria. This has really affected the people of South Africa. And it's so sad when a fellow African is committing it to a fellow African. It's so sad that a black person is sentencing another black person based on apartheid, based on the foundations of apartheid. It shouldn't be. Julius Malema stood up front and told him, whatever you are doing is wrong. You shouldn't be racially biased towards the people of your same color. You have the same color, you have the same bald head, you have the same hair, but you still look down upon your fellow people. What a level of hypocrisy. Do you think those people whom you are working for, if given the opportunity, they let you, or maybe reverse the situation, how would you feel when a fellow African was doing it to you? We can understand when another race does it to us, but it's very, very painful. It's very, very unforgettable when an African is doing it to a fellow African. This is very sick, and we should look about it.
You still want to? Commissioner Nzebeza?
Thank you, Chief Justice. Advocate Togota.
Yes, Commissioner.
I just wanted to follow up on your time as a magistrate in the Eastern Cape. Those of us who were practicing in that place at that time were astounded by certain decisions that you took, given that you were a magistrate. And they seemed, at a time like that they were going against the grain. One was when it appeared you were being ordered by the Pandustan minister to complete a trial, and you took a position. I want you to tell us, in your own words, how you decided that.
Thank you, Commissioner Nzebeza. I remember very well. That time, there was a change in the apartheid regime where they created tricameral parliament. Yes. And then the black students embarked on strikes in the sky. I was a magistrate in Pedi then. And then they were arrested. In Zwelitsha, I was phoned by the Minister of Justice then at that stage in Bisho. We went to the Amatola Sun Hotel, had dinner there. He said to me, Togota, I want you to go and preside in the matter in Zwelitsha tomorrow. And I want you to finalize that matter so that you can teach those students a lesson, so that those strikes shouldn't spread throughout the country. I said, no, it's fine, no problem. Have you got a judicial appointment? He said, yes, you'll find it there. I said, fine. Because if you go to another district, then you must have a special judicial appointment for that case. I said, no, fine, Minister. I'll go there and preside. He said, you see to it that you finalize the matter. I went there. Even though there was no constitution, we still have some human rights in some way. I explained their rights. They wanted legal representation. Mr. Nell was prosecuting. Yes, Mr. Nell, any objection to bail? I want to grant them the right to go and look for legal representation. Mr. Nell says, no objection, 50 rand bail, go. Quarter past 9, I was in Mr. Kenisla's office, the chief magistrate. Said, have you finished? Said, yes. How? No, you can't. Said, how can you finish such a long time? So they want a legal representation. What must I do? I'm finished for the day. I must go back to my district. Then the next thing, the following day, it was in the headlines of the Daily Dispatch, the paper there. The DG phoned me. Mr. Togota, what happened in that matter? I say, yeah, you didn't finish. I thought I finished the day for the day. I granted them bail. I had to give them a right to legal representation. Whew, then I was in trouble with that. But to cut a long story, I found them not guilty in terms of Section 174 of the Criminal Procedure Act.
There was also the incident which also received worldwide, I mean not worldwide, quite prominent attention about the liquor licenses.
That one was also very interesting. We were called as district, I was the chief magistrate in Pedi, and the minister and the DG were the shareholders of Paddy Hotel. And then Parliament passed the Deregulation Act, which legalized liquor licenses. So you could get a license at the counter. As a magistrate, you were the representative of the government, all the departments, and the revenue office was in my office. So people had bought licenses, and then if you go to a restaurant, you find liquor in the fridge. Everywhere else, liquor was readily available. Then the sales in the hotel dropped.
Where the minister and the DG
Where the minister, and yes. And then we were called. All the magistrates were called. Look, we have asked the president to repeal that proclamation, by proclamation, that act of parliament. I said, but minister, you can't repeal an act of parliament by proclamation. The president doesn't have that power. He says, no. Then you must go back, see to it that those people who are selling liquors in their restaurants, they are arrested and pay admission of guilt. Well, I didn't say anything. We went back. The next thing, following day, a lot of admissions of guilt. I refused to accept them. I said, I'm not going to sign any admission of guilt. If you say these people are guilty, take them to criminal court. In any event, in my view, that proclamation is invalid, not only because it has been promulgated by the president to repeal an act of parliament, but because those people have acquired rights before this proclamation. You can't just take them away like this. So I'm not going to obey this. You know what happened thereafter? I was charged with misconduct. What happened thereafter? Every lawyer came to my rescue. No, we know what's going on in Tokota. The hearing took 30 minutes and I was found not guilty. I was defended by advocates and everybody because they knew my stand is like this. That's why I'm saying, when I look at the facts, you cannot politically manipulate me. Whether you call it apartheid.
You know, even how he's talking, I don't think this man knows the intensity of what he was doing to fellow Africans. He was just sentencing Africans based on the apartheid laws, based on the apartheid regime. There's a part where he said that there has to be a consistency between the matters that has been brought to the court with the constitution. You see? He also said that not all judges were agreeing with the prosecutions, with the constitutions, or with the laws of the apartheid. Turns out, the constitution was somehow being rejecting. The constitution was somehow rejecting the apartheid laws. I don't think the constitution was fully apartheid. So we had some kind of gray areas. And so this is what makes this judge, this magistrate, to look bad. He had the opportunity to let go of Africans, or not to sentence Africans under apartheid accusations made on apartheid grounds. He had the opportunity to free Africans from that. But no, he didn't choose that. He decided to go his own way. He said that he had no choice. How dare he say that? That he had no choice but to sentence Africans. Somehow he is also saying that not all judges agreed. How do we know not all judges agreed? We will know not all judges agreed by their actions. You will know a fruit, you will know a tree by its fruits. Some judges let go of these people who were sentenced on apartheid grounds. But him, he chose to. This point goes to the very thing I was saying in another video, where I talked about Africans sentencing other Africans. Africans enjoy sentencing Africans, and they feel like they are in power when they are given this opportunity. This is not power. This is abuse they are making to fellow Africans. This is not good. It's inhuman, you know. You are against your own self. You are against your skin. When you see somebody with the same skin, you disrespect them. These are the kind of people who, when in leadership, they're like puppets. They are not real leaders. They don't fight for the interest of the majority. They fight for the interest of the oppressing minority. We know who the oppressing minorities are in South Africa. We know who the oppressed majority are in South Africa. But this judge tends to shift on this other side, forgetting his own people. Why would you forget your own people? And this is the problem of Africans. I love Julius Malema because he is able to defend Africans. Defending Africans, that does not mean doing criminal acts, does not mean banishing those other people. Defending Africans does not mean attacking the white people, does not mean defending Africans, does not also mean attacking the Indians. It's just defending the Africans. You are defending them as you protect these people as well. You know, because African people are constantly under attack. Economic injustice, racial injustice, what Africans are lacking land in their own land. So much of irony is going on in South Africa. And this magistrate, I don't think he's fully mature, because he is talking while laughing, while doing this and that. That's not a way a magistrate, that's not the way the magistrate should act. He does not have that sympathy in his heart that he was doing wrong things. Everything seemed to be okay with him. He's just okay. I'm okay. I was doing what my bosses wanted. But no, you should defend your own people. Defending your own people should be supreme. It's different from saying defending criminals. I'm only saying defending the white people. Defending your own people, not white, your own people. Your own people can be white or black. Depends on which party you stand for. If you're in a leadership position, take the position to support people of your own, as you also protect people who are not of your own. People of your own should come first. Charity begins at home. If we continue having magistrates such as this one, a good thing he was able to be, he retired maybe, or maybe he was removed. I don't know his story. But whatever he did, that wasn't right. It doesn't sit well with Africans. Africans should defend Africans. That's how it goes. I think that's all for today. Let's talk tomorrow in another video. Kindly do subscribe if you find value in this channel. Support me on Patreon, be a member, and also subscribe, join Patreon, give the video a super thanks, it helps me a lot. Or find which way works for you better. I'll still appreciate. See you in the next one.